So I think if we ever get to the point of having all electric cars or hydrogen fuel cells or wherever the technology goes, this will be seen as what bridged from one technology to another.
It's the same gas that you use in schools and hospitals. It's just after the meter, it's then compressed and used as a fuel source.
And I'd like to really see our local government and business leaders not just window dress it. You know, I want to see them really step up because it can save everyone money and provide for a better environment.
Funding provided by the U.S. Department of Transportation CMAQ program.
Thank you for joining us for Healthy Air, Healthy Communities. In this episode, we're going to explore the various alternative fuels that are currently available in our area, such as electric hybrids, E85, compressed natural gas, and propane, plus a few that aren't here yet. We'll also take a look at alternative vehicles that you may want to give a try. With concerns over the effects of toxic auto emissions on public health, the increased cost of gasoline, and social unrest in oil-producing countries, more and more people have turned to alternative fuels to run their vehicles.
It's a car that uses gasoline as well as battery power. They cooperate with one another, and sometimes the car will run strictly on electric battery power. Sometimes it'll run strictly on gasoline power. We bought the car in 2008, and if you check back, you'll note that gas prices were $4 a gallon. So we thought it was a good buy for that reason. We're interested in getting a car that would be a low polluting car that would leave less of a carbon footprint.
How does a gas-electric hybrid generate the electricity that it uses?
The actual turning of the wheels charges the batteries. When you put the brake on, it charges the batteries. So the other systems in the car, including the gasoline engine, will work to keep the batteries charged as well. When it's running purely electric, it's silent. It's like driving an electric golf cart. I mean, it doesn't make any noise.
All this sounds too good to be true. What is the downside to hybrid technology?
It should be said that one of the reasons I would be at this point in this part of the country reluctant to go with a plug-in all electric is that you're plugging in to a power system that is generated overwhelmingly with fossil fuels, coal in particular. Obvious shortbacks with the hybrid, with the plug-ins, is you don't have stations to plug your car in, you know, that can make them, that will charge them in a short period of time, and so there's some practical limits. It's a little small. It's fine for us. There's just the two of us, but if you had a couple of kids and you wanted a luggage, not a lot of space. It does give a fair amount of road noise, so it's not like you're driving down the highway in a Lincoln Continental, you know. The main deterrent is they're not inexpensive. In terms of just drivability and utility, there are cars we could have purchased that would do the same as this. The usual view, I think, is that these hybrid cars are a kind of intermediate stopgap, enabling us to wean ourselves off of the internal combustion engine. So I think if we ever get to the point of having all electric cars or hydrogen fuel cells or wherever the technology goes, this will be seen as what bridged from one technology to another.
We've heard from a private owner of a hybrid. Now Pepper Mullerin of AT&T gives insight on how fleet usage can cut down on gas used and toxic emissions.
AT&T has roughly 74,000 vehicles in the fleet. So when you have a fleet that large, being, of course, economical and having a fuel source that's affordable, and of course being environmentally conscious are both responsible and important. Since deploying our 7,000th vehicle, we saved roughly 3.6 million gallons of unleaded gasoline, and since the initiative began, we've saved roughly 7 million gallons of unleaded gasoline. We have in Evansville a couple of gas electric hybrid vehicles. So we don't have a one-size-fits-all approach toward our alternatively fueled vehicles. As vehicles are retired, part of the initiative is replacing them with the gas electric hybrids. They are very quiet, very comfortable, and just a joy to drive.
Ethanol is an alcohol-based fuel that is made by fermenting starch, primarily corn. Ethanol use in the past decade has skyrocketed. Over 600,000 vehicles in the U.S. now use ethanol as their primary fuel source. And most gasoline you buy at the pump already has 10% ethanol added.
We basically make a blend stock for gasoline that is not complete until the ethanol is blended in at 10% at our truck racks throughout our distribution system.
Vehicles that are able to run on E85 are called flexible fuel vehicles. Both the vehicles and E85 are widely available.
Ethanol contains about 30% less energy in the molecule per gallon than gasoline does. And so if you go from no ethanol to 10% ethanol, there's a slight decrease in fuel mileage. You go to E85, there's a material decrease in fuel mileage.
You will get fewer miles per gallon, but the cost per gallon is also less, and you lower greenhouse gas emissions by 50%. Another biofuel is biodiesel. Biodiesel is made from vegetable oils, animal fats, or recycled restaurant greases, and it produces less air pollution than petroleum diesel. The most widely available biodiesel is B20, which is 20% biodiesel, but it also comes in mixes from B5 to B100. B20 reduces air pollution by 15%. Most diesel vehicles can run on biodiesel without any modifications, but always check with the manufacturer for their recommendations.